Hello.
Well, this is my dad, and Dad, can you please tell us your name and how you got that name and where you were born?
My name is John Bruno Petrulis, and I was born on September 28, 1944, and I was born in Vilkaviškis, Lithuania.
All right, and do you want to tell us a story about how you got from Lithuania to here?
Yes, I was born in Lithuania when the Russian army was headed towards Germany and the German army was headed towards Russia in World War II. We fled Lithuania because it was a battleground. My mom, my sister, myself, and my dad, they made the choice, instead of going to Siberia, they fled to the refugee camps in Hamburg, Germany. My dad was taken by the German army during the war, and we lost all track of him. We know he died sometime after 1944, somewhere in Germany, they believe. And then we emigrated to the U.S. in '49. We went to Ellis Island. Then we came to Chicagoland probably the next day in August of 1949, maybe September 1st. And I basically lived in Chicagoland all of my life.
All right, and do you guys eat any special food there? Any Lithuanian dishes?
Oh, yeah, well, what's unique to Lithuania is something called kugelis. My grandparents were big, and so was my mom and dad. They were basically peasant farmers, so you had to live off the land. And potatoes and meat and potatoes are basically the staples, plus whatever else you get, poultry and other kinds of meats and such as that. And anything that you can make on a farm is what we ate. Everybody had to learn how to cook. The men worked up the fields, and the women learned how to sew and to cook and take care of the family.
All right, and what entertainment and fads did you have when you were here in Chicago when you were younger?
Well, the things that I remember as a teenager, I remember the hula hoop. I remember the pet rock that they had. I remember the mood rings. Nothing really remarkable.
All right.
As a teenager, that's about all.
Yeah, and how did your clothing then compare to us now?
Oh my gosh. Well, clothing then was I had no such thing as Nike and Adidas and the latest fads in clothing with Hollister and Abercrombie and Fitch and stuff like that. We had basically clothes that my mother would make. She was a seamstress. She was really pretty good. She used to do, on a part-time basis when she wasn't working, she would do wedding dresses. That's how good she was for people that were asked, for a few extra dollars here and there. But that's basically what we had. And on Sunday mornings, we'd go to Maxwell Street. Now where the University of Illinois at Chicago is, Maxwell and Halsted and west of there, they used to have an open-air market where you negotiated prices of some new, some used goods, some off-brand goods and stuff like that. But one of my favorite was brown gym shoes. And that time when we bought brown gym shoes, I don't know if some of you might remember Goldblatt Brothers stores, but we bought them at the Goldblatts, and they were probably around $4 a pair.
All right, and I know you still read the newspaper every morning now, but do you have any?
I've been reading the Sun-Times every morning since 1954. It used to be the Sun, and then the Times, and then the Sun-Times merged, and it's the Sun-Times newspaper. I used to deliver them from the time I was 8 to the time I went away to college when I was 18. And one of my favorite things to do is read the Sun-Times in the morning.
All right, and do you want to tell us about your school?
Oh,
schooling
went to Providence Grammar School in Chicago. It was a Catholic school on 18th and Union. The school is still there. The church is still there. You could see it off of the Dan Ryan Expressway at 18th Street. But they closed the school because nuns ran out of teachers. That was the Sisters of St. Casimir that taught there. My sister went to Maria High School, and I went to St. Rita High School, graduated from Rita in '62, graduated from St. Procopius, now Illinois Benedictine College, in 1966, graduated from Loyola, their MBA program in 1973 with a major in finance, and I had a law degree with the Law Review, which is the honor society, at Northern Illinois University in 1978. So that's my education. Whatever you do, study. Studies to get. If you don't get anything from this interview, I'm a big one to push kids to study.
All right. And like, what jobs did you have? Even I know you're told.
Well, I started after I graduated from college. I worked in the trust department of the First National Bank of Chicago. But before I did that, I played professional baseball in the Atlanta Braves organization, only in the minor leagues, so somebody doesn't think I'm a major leaguer. But I played from 1966 through 1969, and I roomed on the road with Earl Williams, who was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1971. Check that on me, for me. Earl Williams, Rookie of the Year, Atlanta Braves, 1971. And then I worked at the Savings and Loan here in Frankfurt after I finished my MBA, and I worked there for 6 years. Then I practiced law for about 20, and I'm basically retired now, just doing some commercial loan brokering.
All right, and I know your banking ties in with how you met my mom, so would you like to
Yeah,
talk about that?
that's exactly what happened. I actually came home from a vacation into Acapulco. I went into the office. If you take a look where the TCF Bank is, that was a branch of, it used to be called Sauk Prairie Savings. And I went into the office on a Wednesday after Easter, way back in, I want to say 78 or 79, and to show off my tan to the people that were working that day. And Penny, who's now my wife, came there, and she was making a deposit on a Wednesday or something, I don't know. And at that time we were giving out gifts for deposits. Most of you won't remember that, but the savings and loan business in the late 70s, early 80s was big on giving gifts for people who make deposits to the bank. So I saw her in the car, and I said, when she asked that question of the people that were working, I just said, tell her to go to the other facility, which is where we first started at 28 Kansas Street. It's now, I think, a law office there now. And we started talking, and one thing led to another. We started dating. We dated for about 5 years before we got married.
All right. Well, thank you for the interview.
Okay. My pleasure. Anytime.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye, Brett.